Jerry Ramrattan, a Queens, New York resident, is infamous for orchestrating an elaborate scheme to falsely accuse his ex-girlfriend, Seemona Sumasar, of a crime she didn't commit. His actions led to her spending months behind bars for fabricated charges, highlighting not only the fragility of trust in personal relationships, but also how easily legal systems can be exploited by those with malicious intent. The case, which began in 2009 and gained national attention, showcases how a web of lies can spiral out of control and devastate lives. Jerry Ramrattan, a man with a history of criminal behavior, including involvement in scams and deceit, was once in a romantic relationship with Seemona Sumasar. Sumasar, a successful entrepreneur who owned a restaurant and was an active member of her community, had a life that seemed stable and prosperous before Ramrattan entered her world. However, their relationship deteriorated over time, and according to reports, Ramrattan became increasingly controlling and abusive. When Sumasar decided to end the relationship, she unknowingly ignited Ramrattan's thirst for revenge. Ramrattan's plan to frame Sumasar for crimes she did not commit was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. It was a calculated, sinister, and highly organized plot. Using his knowledge of criminal activities and his ability to manipulate people, he recruited individuals to pose as victims in a series of staged robberies. The crux of his plan was to accuse Sumasar of impersonating a police officer and robbing these individuals at gunpoint. These victims, all accomplices in Ramrattan's scheme, provided fake testimonies to the police, claiming that Sumasar had committed armed robberies. Their statements were detailed, corroborating one another to the point where they seemed credible to law enforcement. What makes this case particularly disturbing is that Ramrattan's motivation was rooted in vengeance and manipulation. He wanted to ruin Sumasar's life for rejecting him, and he saw the criminal justice system as the tool to achieve his goal. In March 2010, Seemona Sumasar was arrested by the Nassau County Police based on the false reports of robbery. Despite her protests of innocence and providing an alibi, the testimonies of Ramrattan's accomplices appeared too strong for law enforcement to ignore. As a result, Sumasar was jailed for over 7 months without bail. During this time, she lost her business, her home, and her relationship with her young daughter was severely strained. While Sumasar was imprisoned, Ramrattan continued to live his life freely. He had successfully manipulated the system, and Sumasar was left to endure the consequences of his deceit. Ramrattan's plot began to fall apart when investigators from the Queens District Attorney's Office started to notice inconsistencies in the accounts of the supposed victims. As they dug deeper, it became apparent that the accusations against Sumasar didn't add up. Eventually, one of Ramrattan's accomplices broke down under pressure and admitted the truth. The entire story had been fabricated at Ramrattan's behest. This revelation led to Sumasar's exoneration and Ramrattan's arrest in December 2010. In 2011, Jerry Ramrattan was found guilty of several charges, including perjury, conspiracy, and tampering with witnesses. He was sentenced to 32 years in prison for his role in framing Seemona Sumasar. His sentencing served as a significant moment of justice, not only for Sumasar, but also as a warning to others who might consider manipulating the legal system for personal vendettas. Seemona Sumasar's story is a haunting reminder of how easily someone's life can be destroyed by lies and manipulation. Her time in jail was marked by anguish, the loss of her business, and a near-total breakdown of her personal life. Although she was eventually cleared of all charges, the damage inflicted by Ramrattan's scheme had lasting effects on her mental, emotional, and financial well-being. This case also raised critical questions about the criminal justice system. How could false testimonies, orchestrated by a single man with a vendetta, lead to the imprisonment of an innocent woman for such a prolonged period? It demonstrated the vulnerabilities within the system, particularly when individuals can manipulate witnesses and fabricate evidence without thorough scrutiny. Jerry Ramrattan's plot to frame his ex-girlfriend stands as a grim example of how personal vendettas can escalate into life-altering events. The story of Seemona Sumasar's false imprisonment is a case study in the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of vigilance in the pursuit of justice. It highlights the need for law enforcement to remain critical and diligent in their investigations to prevent similar cases of wrongful incarceration. While Ramrattan is now serving a lengthy prison sentence for his crimes, the scars left by his deceit are a testament to the far-reaching consequences of manipulation and betrayal.